Hey everyone, I'm Cole with Taproot,
And I'm Karl with Taproot.
and we are here to take you behind the scenes on a production that we just completed for Chevy.
So yeah, we were approached with this idea, and if you're not familiar with Ross Chastain, he is a NASCAR driver, and he, I guess, has a tradition that when he wins a race, he smashes a watermelon. Guess that all ties back to him being raised on and owning and help running a watermelon farm in Punta Gorda, Florida. The idea was like, is an EV work truck really capable of doing actual work on a farm, right? Like the watermelon farm and
Daily life.
and going all day.
So we started working through the concept, came up with a shot list and ideas for the day and how the day was going to go.
There were, certain requirements of that, of different activities that we wanted to film. And what's I think was unique about this situation is that the farm was really spread out. There was only one field that really looked kind of good still and hadn't been harvested. And that was like, 12, 15 minutes away from like the main facility where all the buildings were located.
Yeah. Not long, but long enough to
Yes.
where we needed to plan if we were going to go there.
That's a great point. Like, it doesn't sound very long, but when you've got to move crew and you think about the time it does to get gear up and down and back and forth, like that's a huge hurdle. The AC really wanted this true day in the life thing. Like they had dictated like still shots of the farm, quiet, sunrise coming up, and we had to capture things at certain times of the day. Like the actual charging station was at the main building facility. There was light issues that we were working around. And so one of the problems or challenges that we faced is, okay, where are we going to do the kind of main interview location? The initial kind of warehouse that we were in, it just wasn't a great look, wasn't ideal. And so, we kind of stepped back and said, where is the ideal location? We're like, well, if we could like place them in the farm.
In the field.
Like in the field, sitting on the bed of the truck, kind of like tailgate, like that would be ideal.
Yeah. Again, we went into this getting there. We flew out on a Sunday and got there on Sunday, scouted the same day. The shoot was on Monday, and then we flew back on Tuesday. So when we got there and we were scouting, we're discovering all of this as we're looking at locations.
And we got there, I don't know, 3 in the afternoon.
It was afternoon.
Yeah.
It was like,
And we probably woke up at like 3 in the morning.
Yes. Our flight was very early.
So it was already a long day, and you're like going
already-
to work. It's
Yes.
kind of what it felt like.
Yeah. But we're getting
And the
there.
sun sets at 5:30.
We didn't have a lot of time.
5:30.
So, I mean, it was dark when we left the scout that day.
Shannon, who was our producer on this, and I kind of went back to the hotel that evening and said, okay, here's a schedule that we're going to try to put together to make all this work. Again, we have kind of required things that we have to get that are part of the story that the agency really wants. And we're trying to, serve that and provide that up against these logistical challenges of where these things are, the different, between the two locations and the different kind of times of day that you need to shoot all these things at. Like it just wasn't easy. I think it was, 10 or something. And again, you've been up since 3 and you got a full day ahead of you. And we just kind of put something together, and it's late, right? And we need to be fresh and ready to go in the morning. So woke up the next day, and Shannon and I are driving in. We said we have to do the interview at the main building facility in order to make this work. So we did a little kind of quick art design and ended up moving watermelon crates around to like try to fill in the background and
Got the truck in there.
We made that shift like on the conversation on the way in.
Yes.
And Shannon's like, okay, I'll talk to agency, and I'll explain them why we're doing this and make sure they're good with it. And it made sense to them too. And I would say like that was the key to the day. Like that changed everything.
That brings us to actual production on the day. We had a very nimble crew, which allowed us to work very fast. You were directing. Shannon was our producer. I was cinematographer. We had our first AC. Nate was running sound for us. And then we had 2 grips, bring in a local grip truck, 2 or 3 PAs. And that was it. And that was the crew. The camera package was we were shooting on our LF. We shot with the Soviets iron glass lenses, the primes, which looked awesome.
Very cool.
It looked very cool.
We had 2 drones, the FPV and kind of traditional drone that were part of this shoot. And again, that was another thing. Like the only location for the drone was at the field to capture that kind of early morning over the field shot. But we also needed to capture, there's a sign that says Melon 1 back at the other location, the main building. And we need to get that at the exact same time.
Simultaneous.
Right? Like the sun comes up fast. So we ended up splitting up. You and Nate went north to the field.
The field.
And I jumped on a camera with our first AC and we shot the sign footage. And so we're basically filming at the same time. And then we went and from there, we set up for the first shot, I guess, after that. Like the unplugging.
The unplugged
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And by the time you guys got back, like we were
ready to go. That was, again, like something that we were trying to plan all of this. I think that got decided maybe morning of.
I think it did.
I think you told me morning. Yeah. It's like, hey, you guys are going to go do this. We're going to do this. And then we'll regroup and like shoot the rest of it. So
this is how it goes sometimes. You know,
problem solving.
Yeah. It's problem solving. You have a few hours to scout. You've done your best ahead of time to, figure things out. And we were working with Ross to have like equipment in the right location at the right time. And like I said, he was great. That, we didn't really know. Some people are better at that than others. And, we're like, hey, we're on a tight schedule. You got to have it here at this certain time. And he was really good, which again, really made the day work.
But overall, it was moving really quick. Shannon kept us going and on schedule. And we would bounce between, okay, we're filming in the car and we're going to bring the drone with us and do drone at this location. We're going to get pickups of Ross driving and get a quick little interview soundbite while we're driving, get there, fly the drone, do the same thing on the way back. And it was a lot of moving pieces and keeping each other on board, on the same page. It's like, hey, here's what we're doing.
Yeah. And it really went very smoothly.
It did.
Right. For as kind of the stress as we were the night before, even with the pivot, you've got schedules that have been printed out and passed out, and then we pivot. Yeah. And, so you have to adjust and keep track of, well, where are we on the day? Are we behind? Are we ahead? And, Shannon was really instrumental on that.
Huge.
Like obviously we've worked with Shannon before. We know each other well. And so it really, to me, is like every team member was doing their thing. It just is what you would hope. Like the machine was working.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It was all working in harmony, that kind of thing that you hope to get to.
Yep. Again, like moving Video Village, we brought Video Village with us out in the field. So PAs were crushing it, setting up tents and monitors and all the other things too. So we got done, and it was awesome to hear that the agency had a great day. That's very encouraging.
It's like they don't understand everything.
They don't feel they don't feel the anxiety that we do, or shouldn't feel that anxiety. And
no, we work hard not to, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's really nice to get that kind of on the spot kind of feedback. Like that's a goal. That's what you're trying to do.
It's always a goal,
is to serve the client, make the experience great for them. Make sure you're capturing what is required and desired. Yeah. And then, in the post process, put it all together so that it works.
There was just so much that happened in pre-pro. And if that is done well, the day usually goes well as post. Usually, there's always caveats. There's always things that will change and edits that want to be tweaked different ways. But if you can dial in pre-pro as much as possible, the other two stages of production and then wrapping it up in post usually flow pretty smoothly.
Pre-pro process helps you get your head around everything and what it is. Yeah. Definitely sets you up, in terms of a plan. But even when you have to modify that plan, if your head really has, captured everything it is that you're trying to do, then I think when you have to pivot, like how to make decisions quickly and what were the right ones versus the wrong ones.
You are very good at thinking through the edit and shooting for the edit while we're on set. And that is super crucial for any director to be able to do that. Because that's like you're saying, that's okay, if we have to pivot here, what are we going to get to still make the edit work?
Nice to have versus critical shots you have to make it work.
And if it is going smoothly, it's like, let's just get alternates anyway. Yeah. Because you don't know kind of what you're going to get until you get to post. You get to post and it's like, oh, what I thought was going to work on set doesn't necessarily work in this context. It's little stuff like that again, it's all problem solving in the name of doing the project justice with the goal of doing our client justice and just serving the vision of the creative. So jumping into post, again, the pre-production and the planning did carry itself in this project to allow us to do post really, really well. I ended up taking this edit, having shot it, I was, we both know like where things were at, and what the general story arc was going to be.
Like I think the post process did go very smoothly, and like you said, the edit had very limited feedback, which is that doesn't always happen.
No.
But to me, I go back to pre-production and really attribute it to that, like really being clear on what it is that we're trying to capture, what the story is. We presented that in the treatment, and so it's just we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
So that when it came time to do the edit, it wasn't like a surprise. Like this is not what we were expecting. It's like, oh, this is what we were hoping you would.
Yeah, it was basically just like plug and play. Having Watermelons, Nascar together was just awesome. Like it was a fun thing. Watermelons, NASCAR, and Chevy, all together in a video. So thanks to Ross, thanks to Ralph,
And the EV truck.
and the EV truck was sweet.
Well, it's kind of legit.
You drove it on the way back.
I did. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in for a little behind the production. I hope you learned something. If you have a question, drop it in the comments. We'd love to talk more about this kind of stuff. Obviously, we love talking about it. We love doing the work, and then we love learning from our own experiences and sharing that with you guys in hopes that you guys learn. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.